To speak to you about my business. And I had mentioned earlier, I am 5 years in the market. So Harriet Botanicals is a very interesting business, and some of you have actually experienced some of our products. And it grew out of the fact that I myself, I have recovered from endometriosis, which is a condition that affects 10% of women globally. Now, most of you men in the room may not know, but like 70% of women are affected by period pains, painful menses, a difficult time during their periods. 40% of women globally are affected by a condition called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. 40% of women over 40 will more than likely battle with fibroids. And then we have the 10% in the world that are affected by endometriosis and adenomyosis. So the reproductive health concern is huge. So this is like a Mitishamba product that was introduced to me, myself, because I used to have very painful periods. And then it just kind of like burst onto the market because I gave it to my friend who had fibroids, who was actually going for hysterectomy. A hysterectomy means you go and remove the uterus because the fibroids are too big and you're bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. So that was how Arrowhead was born. And once this sort of like, my friends in the WhatsApp group gave it to their friends or their daughters or their sisters. And next thing, I went from being a finance consultant actually, and then this just completely took over my life. The first month, I made 100,000, which in the context is not so much right now, but at the time, I was doing other work. So this kind of took over my life, and I started developing traditional indigenous medicinal products for the urban and African diaspora market because we sell abroad. So out of Arrowhead, why we kept the names is because we want people in the villages to actually continue planting the trees and to begin naturally conserving traditional indigenous trees in the Southern Rift Valley, knowing that they are for medicinal purposes only. Now, Tenduit, our men's product, is called Libido. And this is very famous because it is actually used in Europe. Actually, there's actually a French company that has a patent on some bioactive components of this Tenduit, which is also called Muiri in Kikuyu. And what this Tenduit is used for is prostate cancer in chemotherapy. So now we kind of roll it back and it is used in the village. The same way you have a product for women, you also have a product for men. Men have erectile dysfunction, they have premature ejaculation, they have diseases down there, so they have Muzanyeti, that they don't talk about a lot. They have something called benign prostate hyperplasia, where sort of their prostate starts to swell and filled with toxins, and then they can't urinate and they're in pain, and then they don't tell you. And then this benign prostate hyperplasia actually develops into prostate cancer. So Tenduit is prophylactic in the sense that it is preventative. Then we developed something called blood pressure. So whenever you hear people say, you're in Oshadamu, I'm sure you've heard the Maasai talking about Oshadamu. So when you translate it even in the village, they'll say, yes, to clean the blood. But what they actually mean is to actually help you with insulin resistance in the blood, in the joints, in the brain, because diabetes type 3 is Alzheimer's, and you have diabetes type 2, so this is not for diabetes type 1. So at the same time, because insulin resistance has such a huge impact on our body, it also helps with cardiovascular blood pressure, and then insulin resistance in the joints where you have your arthritis, when your bones start creaking, and at the same time helping you with your thyroid for perimenopausal and menopausal women. We then went on to develop other products because people kept on asking us for products. So we have Busare, which is for gut health, you know, your H. pylori, your ulcers, your hyperacidity. And then we developed food because people say to me, okay, you've helped me with PCOS, but what shall I eat? Because you say I should have a low-carb diet and I should make sure I'm not having too much sugar, too many cups of coffee with sugar. So we developed foods to support women with estrogen dominance and women with PCOS, which is the two ends of the spectrum. So you have to think about me, I'm a hybrid between a pharmaceutical and a wellness company because we do have medicinal products and we have wellness products. And the whole idea is to develop products for the African market, specifically, like go and find Africans like you in this room and say, what do they eat or what do we eat? What are our specific needs? As opposed to us having to go to a supermarket and we pick this product that is made in Germany, we pick another product that is made in China, and we pick another product that is made in South Africa or Australia, but we never actually have products that are just targeted to us. And I learned this when I was living in the UK, when I was struggling with my endometriosis. Endometriosis, estrogen dominance fibroids actually affects black women. And prostate issues are actually affecting black men more than anybody else. And now when you're living in a good country with good health insurance, and you have a good job, so you have the money to actually go and get treated, but you don't get treatment because nobody's focused on the diseases that are specific to you. And that's what made me so passionate about developing products for the African market, developing products for me, or for people who look like me, or people who like my mother, or my father, my uncle, the children, everybody. So I'm very big on this whole niche sort of organic growth development of African businesses, African entrepreneurs, and that is the reason I am actually here today. And of course, I brought my products because I'm a showboater. I have to always constantly show what it is that I'm doing. I think every opportunity is an opportunity to let people know who you are. All of you are potentially my customers because you have sisters, brothers, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, cousins. You're all in WhatsApp groups, and actually WhatsApp is the fastest way to sell your product. If your product is good, other people will sell it for you in a WhatsApp group. So I was going to donate one to Elsie here because she mentioned that she has a relative who's really struggling with period pains, and this is the first time she's hearing about my product. Then she has promised to buy something for blood pressure. I'm going to donate the men's one to Professor over here because I want him to give me some feedback. And I don't want to go back with these, so maybe we can do a raffle, right? I just only want to go back with a paper bag, and I don't want to tie too many things, but thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thanks.
Okay.